Hello everybody, I'm back. I have a special presentation for you and for me on today. I am near where I live, and you've seen me in this tunnel in my posting. And today I want to see what it sounds like to sing. Welcome to Impromptu NEBTHET NEPHTHYS Musical. I've already called Mama NEBTHET in. It would be wonderful if she showed up today, like she did that day in the park with me and Davita Rose, as well as when I would go pick up water, and as well as around by home. It will be so nice for her to come, but Mama NEBTHET is camera shy, so maybe she will, maybe she won't. We love you, Mama NEBTHET. We love you, Mama NEBTHET. We love you, Mama NEBTHET, for guiding, guarding, and protecting us. We love you, Mama NEBTHET, with your beautiful self. You are God, Goddess on this planet. We love you, Mama NEBTHET. Thank you so much. Today, we'll be doing a presentation entitled NEBTHET and ANPU. We do know a little bit about NEPHTHYS, and it's really interesting how when you begin, or when I began studying the Kemetan pantheon, in fact, that story of Osiris and Isis, when you first read it, it's a little bit confusing, and you read as much as you can the first time, and then you have to go back and you read it so many times trying to gain meaning, because when you first come into consciousness, you still have remnants of all those things they said about Kemetans, you know, incest and sex within the family and all those things that they use to move us away from the knowledge of ourselves. However, the more we study, the more we learn. And certainly I began to learn even more when NEPHTHYS made herself known in my life. And so this morning I was rewatching my program, me and Mama NEPHTHYS, and then her in the park as a butterfly with Davita Rose, who speaks about domestic violence. Please check out those presentations. Mama NEPHTHET really is awesome. And it really only recently dawned on me all that she represents. There's a famous Kemetan teacher, Dana Williams, and I forget the rest of his name. But anyway, I appreciate him. He's the one that taught me about Atum Ra that you hear at the end of my presentations. But anyway, he mentioned a few things about her that day. I have read many things about her. I've seen presentations on YouTube. She is very well loved, although not as well known as her twin sister, Aset. And I'm wondering, why did she come into my life? Well, when it dawned on me that it was NEBTHET and I learned more about her, I realized that she does represent the darker nature of the Kemetan pantheon. I want to slow down a little bit. My mind is wandering, and I want to stay on track, focusing on what she represents. Again, the musical says over and over that she helped her twin sister, Aset, put the pieces of Osiris back together. And that directly applies to me, having been traumatized by a bogus HIV diagnosis, and then having my sexual freedom destroyed. the threat of imprisonment, people rejecting you, and that type of isolation that can result from even telling people the truth and them not being able or willing to understand all of that. But anyway, NEPHTHYS, as you know, was married to Set, and she it is said that she tricked because she wanted to have a child, a son, that Set was considered to be barren and unable to reproduce offspring. And so NEBTHET supposedly got Osiris a little intoxicated, and she dressed herself as if she were her twin sister, or Set, Isis. And through that interaction with Osiris, they perhaps had sex, and ANPU was the offspring. Now, another story says that it is uncertain whether Set or ANPU is the father of Set or Osiris is the father of ANPU. Okay, but ANPU, like Isis and Sekhmet, is probably the most popular of all the Kemetan pantheon, I have learned. Everybody knows ANPU, Anubis. He is a protector. He guides the souls into the underworld. It is surprising and exciting to learn that the underworld is our heaven. Everything that Kemetans did was in preparation for life in the underworld. I imagine because they knew that this life above the ground was illusion. And so they prepared themselves for the underworld. I have a few notes here that I wanted to make sure that I talk about. But NEBTHET is the lady of the house. She represents death. To me, that's very interesting because when I first learned of her, you know, and I was all about life and health here atop the ground in this illusion, not realizing that it was an illusion until more recently. And so perhaps she showed up because I had transcended that HIV thing, and she saw the need that I needed guidance and protection because I was doing important work exposing the truth about HIV. I want to get my shirt in there. I just love ANPU. Look at the eyes on him there. Kundalini Kane's with me today, of course. But anyway, she represents death and the underworld and the afterlife. It's also known in the mythology that ANPU was basically in charge of the underworld and all the rituals and everything that happens after death. But later, Osiris took over that. We all know of Osiris as being over the underworld. And all the mythologies really are about him and the Great Mother, and about ANPU, about the Kemetan pantheon. All of the texts. And again, Bobby Hemmett teaches a lot about that. So it's wonderful to have him there for us. Thank you to the ancestors who chose him to do all of those presentations many years back that apply today and help those of us who are coming along. Very much appreciative of that. Back to NEBTHET and ANPU. ANPU, as you know, is the jackal. Now, Davida Rose had a dog that was a jackal and looked just like ANPU. In fact, she named him Anubia. How about that? I wish I knew where she was. You know, I had hoped perhaps that she would stay with me for a time in my new home, but I have lost contact with her. But I did get to meet her dog, and it was just a beautiful female ANPU. And again, if you have forgotten, we had come up with the idea that perhaps she was Set reincarnated How about that? There's some other interesting facts about her that I don't feel comfortable telling you. I would prefer that she do that. But the fact that she has been under attack most of her human life because spiritual entities are aware of who she is and have attacked her in the physical world. And then the fact that NEBTHET showed up that day. We just happened to be at the park. She was showing me around Douglasville before I even moved here. And just gave a spectacular display in butterfly form. I hope you see that. It's called NEPHTHYS in the park or something like that. Impromptu NEPTHET musical. But I hope at some point to reconnect with Davita. And also, the jackal, her dog. Actually, when I went looking up, I was like, I even went to the animal shelter looking for a dog like ANPU. I was thinking if I had a dog, I could have some company at home, and that would ease some of the isolation. Come to find out, when I got there, we looked on the computer, and the original jackal was a wolf, a dog that looks just like a wolf. But somehow, throughout the mythology, it got changed to what we see. The jackal and the dog represented in the movies, the omen. And then, of course, the Sphinx. There's a book out there about that where they say that perhaps at one time the head of the Sphinx was a jackal. Now, ANPU is black. Bobby Hemmings says that means melanin. He represents melanin. And when you see statues of us in black, it's because of the melanin. Other interpretations by people of other races who talk about this mythology have not collaborated back. But, you know, we go with our favorite teacher, Bobby Hemmings. Okay, let's see what else I have down here. Let's see. He was responsible for the opening of the mouth ceremony. He protected he's considered a protector, and he was very instrumental in King Tut's tombs. I learned last night. Just want to give so much thanks to ANPU. I plan on singing that song that I wrote in his honor, Back in the Tunnel, when I get done here. But anyway, I want to bring the attention back to Mama NEBTHET, who has guided, guarded, and protected me through the treacherous Kundalini awakening process. Again, she showed up on the very day of my Kundalini. The ravens happened, I didn't know it was her at that time, but the ravens were everywhere that I went for years. And I learned while I was writing my book. I would be sitting there at the computer, typing something, having an idea, and trying to figure out how to get it on the page or into the typewriter. And I would hear outside, caw, 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 caw. Or patterns like that, repeated patterns. And then I realized she was corresponding the principles of the chakra in that moment of awareness. And that began to happen at many locations, on many occasions, at work, at home, visiting my mother, on the road. She would stop in the middle of the interstate, and as soon as I got up there, she'd fly up. And so, again, I was not making that up when I said that Mama NEPHTHYS is a shapeshifter. Even on my desk, I've spoken about her in ladybug form, landing on her own framed picture of herself on her own high heart. So I do love Mama NEPHTHYS, and I want to thank her. She is over the lungs. So when I was speaking about the Arcturian healing teams, even though, yeah, it did feel like several entities, there was always one at my feet that would tickle the bottoms of my feet and distract me, and I didn't like that. I would try to communicate telepathically, please don't do that, you're distracting me while I'm being healed here. But every time they appeared, she did do that. And but I was thinking, when I learned that Mama NEPHTHYS was over the lungs, that perhaps it was her who was healing me all along through that treacherous period of the drug experience. And then, of course, to later learn all about cloning, all about the creation of a certain type of black person that basically divided the black community, turned us against each other, and how I happened to have those experiences a lot during that period of drug use, things that would happen that were very unusual, and now I understand all of that better. You know, perhaps all of that was guided by Mama NEPTHET, knowing that in the future I would be sober, be more spiritually awake, and having descended into the dark, and now being able to bring light to some of those shadow areas that needed healing and integration, areas of myself that I have been in denial about, perhaps thinking that I'm better than people who were using drugs and those type of things. But I went there and I could see myself in those people, and that has caused me to have a higher level of compassion. But that, along with the cloning process, has been quite interesting to learn all about. Again, thank you to Bobby Hemmett for all of that. And so I want to, again, thank Mama NEPTHET for all that she does, all that she has done, and then all of the teachings that have caused me to fear physical death a whole lot less, and look forward to reconnecting with her and all of my other ancestors and everybody on the other side when the time comes. Again, I don't, as much as some days I'm in pain. By the way, today I'm feeling a whole lot better. I know that's an entity down there because it seems to fluctuate in size and location. And so it'll be in a certain part of that area, and then it'll move to another area. But there is two areas where perhaps that's the head of it, and the other part is, you know, where it eats or something. I don't know. It's really weird. But some days, like the last few days, the pain was really excruciating. And so I do want you, if you're out there and you happen to see this presentation, because it's better today, I wondered if perhaps somebody's doing distance healing and not even telling me, and that might be impacting me because that area is less swollen today. I'm in less pain, and I'm very happy about that. So thank you if you are out there doing that for me. Okay, I'm gonna make my way back over here. I'm trying to think of which song I want to do. As a tribute to Mama NEPTHET. Let's see. I like the one that I did at the same time that I did the Amun-Ra Bas NEPTHET with the Amun-Ra and the candles on the table and whatnot. I wish I could think of the melody right now. I can't go and access it because the recording will stop. But anyway, I'm going to think for a second, if you'll give me a second. I'm going to show you around the park as I turn the camera the other way. And you can see this park out here. I think it's called Hunter Park. I'm standing in a little tunnel where the train that carries people through, sort of like a Six Flags rides through. You can see that I've taken pictures in this area. I'll just show you around while I think of a song. We love you, Mama NEPTHET. We love you, Mama NEPTHET. We love you, Mama NEPTHET, for guiding, guarding, and protecting us. I wanted to sing the one about wanting to go home, but you'll just have to check that out on NEPTHET. For some reason, that melody won't come into my mind right now. Thank you so much for joining me again here today. Please, again, add to the playlist, Damien Laster Conscious Doctor YouTube channel playlist. And thank you for healing me from a distance if you are engaged in that. And I do appreciate everything. I love you, Mama NEPTHET, and thank you, ANPU, for guiding, guarding, and protecting us. Have a good day. Goodbye. I am Damien Laster, a.k.a. Kabir Amun-Ra ANPU Sarset Harakti, the Conscious Doctor Rainbow Warrior, healing the sacral chakra, busting up bogus HIV worldwide. Watum Ra. Goodbye.